stop. If you're doing this to your diesel, you could be slowly destroying your engine without even knowing it. Most diesel owners think they're doing everything right, but small habits are quietly cutting engine life in half and leading to massive repair bills. Today, you're going to learn 5 diesel tricks that experienced drivers and mechanics use to push their engines past 300,000 miles, while others are stuck dealing with failures at just 100,000. And you need to stick around, because one of these can save you thousands on repairs. Let's start with the first secret. The oil change sweet spot. Most owners blindly follow what's written in the manual, thinking longer intervals mean better efficiency. But experienced diesel drivers know something different. The real sweet spot for oil changes is between 5,000 and 7,500 miles. Yes, even if your manual says 10 or 15,000. Here's why that matters. Diesel engines run under much harsher conditions than gasoline engines. Higher compression, more heat, more soot, and constant turbo stress all break down oil faster than you think. So even though modern synthetic oil is advanced, it still gets contaminated quicker in a diesel. Pushing oil changes too far might save a little money today, but it quietly builds up damage. Dirty oil leads to injector issues, turbo wear, and reduced engine protection. And those repairs are not cheap. Experienced drivers don't take that risk. They change oil earlier, not later, because they understand that clean oil is the lifeline of a diesel engine. And here's the key. It's not just about changing it early, it's about being consistent. Pick an interval in that 5 to 7,500 mile range and stick to it. If you tow heavy loads, drive in dusty conditions, or spend a lot of time in stop-and-go traffic, go closer to 5,000. That one habit alone can dramatically extend your engine life. Now here's something most owners don't realize, and this next trick might surprise you. If you only drive your diesel for short trips around town, you could be causing serious long-term damage without even noticing it. And that's where the second secret comes in. The Italian tune-up. This is one of the most overlooked diesel tricks, and it's something experienced drivers swear by. If you mainly use your diesel for short city drives, quick errands, or stop-and-go traffic, your engine is not operating the way it was designed to. And over time, that causes serious problems. Diesel engines are built to run hot and under load. They need sustained temperature to burn fuel completely and keep internal components clean. But short trips don't allow that to happen. Instead, carbon starts building up inside the engine. Your intake system gets clogged, your diesel particulate filter begins to block, and unburned fuel can even mix with your engine oil. This is where the damage begins. Experienced drivers prevent this with something simple but powerful. At least once a week, take your diesel out on the highway and drive it properly. Let the engine reach full operating temperature and keep it there for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Don't baby it. Let it rev higher than usual and maintain steady speed. This process burns off carbon deposits, helps clean your emission system, and keeps your turbo working freely. After doing this, most drivers notice smoother performance, better fuel efficiency, and stronger acceleration. It's like resetting your engine. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Driving your diesel too gently all the time is actually worse than driving it hard occasionally. These engines are designed to work, not sit idle and crawl through traffic every day. So if you want your diesel to last, you have to use it the way it was built to be used. Now let's move to a mistake that can cost you thousands if you ignore it. The turbo cooldown rule. This is where a lot of owners unknowingly destroy one of the most expensive parts of their engine. After towing, highway driving, or pushing your diesel hard, most people just turn off the engine immediately. That is a huge mistake. And what happens next is exactly why experienced drivers never do it. The turbo cooldown rule. This is one of the simplest habits, but it can save you thousands in repairs. After towing, long highway drives, or any hard acceleration, your turbocharger is extremely hot and spinning at incredibly high speeds. We're talking well over 100,000 RPM. Now here's the mistake most owners make. They shut the engine off immediately. The moment you do that, oil circulation stops while the turbo is still hot and spinning. That leftover heat starts cooking the oil trapped inside the turbo bearings, turning it into harmful deposits. Over time, those deposits restrict lubrication, increase friction, and eventually lead to turbo failure. And replacing a turbo is not cheap. Experienced diesel drivers never take that risk. Instead, they follow a simple rule. After any hard driving, let the engine idle for 30 to 60 seconds before shutting it off. That short wait allows the turbo to cool down gradually while oil is still flowing properly. It protects the bearings, prevents oil breakdown, and dramatically extends the life of your turbocharger. It might seem small, but this one habit makes a massive difference over time. Some modern vehicles have built-in systems to help with this, But relying on that alone isn't enough. Making it your own habit is what really protects your engine. Professional drivers who haul heavy loads every day follow this religiously. That's one of the reasons their turbos last hundreds of thousands of miles. Now here's another area where most diesel owners get it wrong, especially when temperatures drop. Starting your diesel the right way. Unlike gasoline engines, diesels rely on compression and heat to ignite fuel, and that's where glow plugs come in. But here's the problem. Most people rush the process. They turn the key and try to start the engine before the system is ready. And that puts unnecessary stress on the engine, the battery, and the starter. Experienced drivers never do this. They follow a simple rule that makes a huge difference. Glow plug mastery. Starting your diesel properly is something most owners underestimate, but experienced drivers treat it seriously. Here's the rule. Always wait for the glow plug light to turn off completely before starting the engine. It sounds simple, but many people rush this step, especially when they're in a hurry. And that's where problems begin. Glow plugs heat the combustion chamber so fuel can ignite properly. If you skip that process, the engine struggles to start, creates excess smoke, and puts extra strain on internal components. Over time, that leads to unnecessary wear. Now here's the expert trick. In cold weather, don't just cycle the glow plugs once. Cycle them twice before starting. Turn the key to the on position, wait for the glow plug light to turn off, switch it back off, and repeat the process one more time before cranking the engine. This preheats the chamber more effectively, making cold starts smoother and reducing stress on your battery and starter. In extremely cold conditions, some drivers even repeat it a third time. But for most situations, 2 cycles are enough. This small habit prevents hard starts, reduces white smoke, and protects your engine over time. Now let's get to the final and most expensive mistake most diesel owners make. Running low on fuel. Never make it a habit to drive your diesel near empty. This isn't just about getting stranded. It directly affects your fuel system. Diesel fuel doesn't just power the engine, it also cools and lubricates critical components like your fuel pump and injectors. When fuel levels drop too low, your system starts pulling in air along with fuel. That leads to unstable pressure and poor performance. At the same time, there's less fuel available to cool and lubricate the system, which increases heat and wear. And that's where serious damage happens. Fuel injection systems operate at extremely high pressure, and even small issues can turn into expensive repairs. Experienced drivers avoid this completely. They keep at least a quarter tank of fuel at all times and never let it drop below 1/8. That simple habit protects the entire fuel system and prevents costly failures. These 5 diesel tricks may seem small, but over time they make the difference between an engine that fails early and one that runs strong for hundreds of thousands of miles. Now you know what most owners ignore.